Hey everybody, welcome back to another Sam and Max episode review. I keep trying, every time I record one of these, I think, okay, now I'll do another video to sort of mix things up, change things around so it's not the same thing on the channel every time, and then I can't think of anything to do, and so I just resort back to doing another Sam and Max video because I don't want it to be too long before uploading another video, but by the time I put this up, it'll probably be at least a week without uploads or whatever. But we're back for another Sam and Max review. This time, this episode starts out strong and then it begins to waver for me. So the beginning starts with a meteor coming to... Can you hear the sirens in the background? There's sirens going by. There's I don't know, there's always sirens passing by here. Anyway, so this episode starts with a meteor coming to crash down into Earth. And Sam and Max hid it away, swatted away with their giant robot version of Max. And that's the beginning of the episode, and they've solved the problem, and they realize, okay, now what do we do with this giant robot version of Max? Which is a great premise for an episode. I really like that. Then they decide that they're going to take it to Japan and fight giant monsters. So they go to a very stereotypical version of Japan, fight a giant baby, which turned out to be a giant robot built by this really horny guy. Seriously, this guy, he's pretty horny. He prepared a spaceship to go into space with all these women just because that's his thing. And he's angry with Sam and Max because they stopped the meteor, and his excuse to bringing them all into space was well, we're saving humanity. But now they don't need to save humanity, so they got angry at Sam and Max. But what I don't understand is that clearly this guy, he's this short, unattractive guy, and clearly Sam and Max were not getting in his way of doing anything with these he has 12 stereotypically really attractive women always with him. I don't understand why he's angry with Sam and Max, because clearly those women were gung-ho no matter the circumstances with this guy, so I don't know why he's really angry with them. My thoughts on the episode overall, though, I think it really starts out strong, but I think once they go to Tokyo, it begins to waver because it's kind of just a fight and it isn't that funny. It starts out, I really love the initial beginning. I really love the concept of, okay, what do we do with this giant robot? But it almost felt I feel the idea of what do you do when you have a giant robot but you don't have anything to do with it is a really great idea. And I feel that could be a more entertaining story than what happened in this episode. But at the same time, I feel I sympathize with the writers, because I have a feeling the writers oh, that's a really great idea for an episode. And then they realized they had the same problem where they were okay, what do you do in an episode where the characters don't know what to do with their giant robot? And so we don't know what to do with the episode. And so they're okay, we'll take it to Japan, which is a fun joke, but the fight which sort of takes up about half the episode, I want to say, maybe more, maybe less. It takes up a pretty significant chunk of the episode. I just don't find it to be that funny. And that's what I come to time and time again with these episodes. It's the humor really is a big factor in terms of what goes on. I will say, for those of you who have played Sam and Max Save the World, the opening scene of this takes place outside the White House with the giant robot Max, and I don't know if I was the only one who got flashbacks to Sam and Max Save the World with the giant robotic Abraham Lincoln outside the White House. I guess technically that's a flash forward, because I want to say that game came out in 2006 or something. But yeah, that might be it for what I have to say. Overall, it's not the worst episode. I complain a lot about these episodes. Well, I don't complain a lot, but there's so often I'll be oh, I wasn't really crazy about this episode, or just the humor didn't work for me. And other times I'll be oh, I really like this episode. And this is one of the episodes where I'm basically just sort of in the middle on it. Maybe I sway slightly more towards the enjoying it side of the scale, you know what I mean? I did enjoy it, but it wasn't amazing. It wasn't an episode that I'll probably think to revisit. It was fine. It was okay. It didn't have the same steam as a lot of other episodes. Definitely better than the last episode, but definitely not one of my favorites or anything like that. But yeah, let me know what you think of this episode down in the comments below. Please subscribe if you want more of these Sam and Max reviews. Feel free to like or dislike. I'm fine with either. And with all that said, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day.